Hello viewers, I'm SP and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, The Shadow and the Blade, where, unfortunately, several more hours of troubleshooting have yielded nothing. The problem with this particular issue is not that there's just nothing online about this, nobody's ever experienced this problem. The issue is millions of people have experienced problems that are present with very similar symptoms here, and there are thousands of possible causes. There are so many people online who are like, oh, I'm having games just crash straight to desktop silently. There's no error messages or anything. And I've seen no fewer than 24 different, hey, here's what solved my problem posts, all of which are completely different solutions that have nothing, not even related to the same parts of the computer. And, oh, it's just frustrating. I'm just having to try everything one by one. So I did some stuff, and then I tried interacting with the sea battle again, and nothing I can do will make this work. We're just going to not take the larger amount of treasure here. It doesn't really matter. We don't need the money. My big concern here is just that, like, we know, because this won't work, that there's still some kind of serious problem, and we don't know where else it will crop up. So waiting and receiving only a miserly hoard of treasure is unfortunately leaving us in a position where something else more important could theoretically go wrong. But there's nothing for it. There's nothing I can do. So we're just gonna, fingers crossed, hope that it doesn't break while we're trying to do anything really important, and then I'll have a good, 72 hours or whatever before the next episode comes out, and I can just keep trying everything suggested by every person on the internet, one by one by one. So, let's spend all this gold, and then get on to the next turn. And I am sorry, I know this is a frustrating thing for me, but it's also a frustrating thing for all of you, especially as we get closer and closer to some kind of closure on the series. It's a real bummer that things are breaking down. So I'm sorry for all of the frustration that is caused to everyone else. Just gonna keep growing all of our stuff. We should probably have one of those and one of these, and only 4,500 gold remains. Well, whatever will we do with it all? We could build the depths of the pit. I mean, it does only cost 500 gold. Yeah, sure. Fine, go ahead. And then, honestly, it's probably not worth running around trying to find all of the places where we might spend this other 4,000 gold. Let's just move forward here. Except, Star Tower has building space in it because I didn't. What would we do in this place? An obsidian quarry. We probably have obsidian coming in already, right? Seems likely. We'll just do this for right now. Okay. Let's see how the elves take their vengeance upon us, because we have dealt them some embarrassing defeats here, or I guess one. We've dealt them an embarrassing defeat, and we have threatened further embarrassing defeats. So you can see there, he ran over to siege the city to stop me from recruiting, even though doing so leaves him very exposed. We will probably be able to crush that army pretty easily between Scheif and his sword and the huge garrison. Although my bet is that it's going to make us play the battle manually, because it would give a single elf stack an auto-resolve bonus over our 2 full stacks worth of units. And unfortunately, the Dark Elves just extremely do not have their economy together. They hold enough territory down in the southeast corner that they could run probably a couple of armies if they really wanted to come out and help us. They won't, because they're because they are useless. But they could. Vashnar has been way more helpful than the Dark Elves have, and he is a permanent screw-up. Okay, so Halskuri the Sorcerer, who is he? Wait, who was he? Did we... because we had not yet summoned... I don't know who this unit was. Because, right, we had specifically not summoned the new wizard yet, because why would we before there was actually... Oh, it was the wizard from Scheif's army. That's who it was. Okay. Alright, well, this should be a real easy shutdown. Yeah, like, that's ridiculous. Look at the units that are involved in this battle. And there's exactly one hole open in Shife's army now, so this is exactly 40 units, which means we do actually get them all on the battlefield at the same time. I don't know how this is supposed to go this well for them, but we'll go ahead and fight it manually, I guess, since they're making us. Do we want to use more than 6 units of... Honestly, our menace below charges here will probably be very low value. We'll just fight it like this. We'll preserve food for the for the conquering of the Kuron settlement down in the islands. See if we can't maybe take that over at a slightly higher level. This really should have been like an overwhelming auto-resolve, right? What is the strategy that allows them to do anything at all here? I can't even really... They have 3 units of charging cavalry, all of whom will get cut to pieces. They have a dragon and a phoenix, and if the phoenix does a resurrect a couple... I mean, in theory, a phoenix can resurrect infinitely. I believe if it hits its percentage chance to resurrect, it comes back up and still has that ability, and thus could come back again. I don't know, man. I don't know what they think they're doing. I am inclined to go up the hill. Right? I think this makes a lot of sense. So we'll have... Yeah, that should totally work. We have range sufficient to start stuff with them immediately. We could even be shooting at that Phoenix with the Warp Lightning Cannon from the very beginning of the battle, which is pretty great. Now, it's a little non-ideal because our reinforcements are going to come in way down there, but I really, really don't want to truck with trying to run gunners in this little nightmare pit down here. What is a little nightmare pit, you ask? Why, it's anywhere that there are elves. Any pit in which there might be an elf is a nightmare pit. This is pretty bad, right? Yeah, people are going to be able to approach from behind that. I think what we're going to do here is I'm just going to put the rattling guns right here, and we're just going to move them forward a little bit. And then, you know, melee units or whatever, just kind of get over here. We'll figure out what we want to do with you after the battle starts proper. And plague crew or mortar crews behind the guns. Yeah, should be fine. Also, I suppose our lord should be over here by the units, you know. Okay, so... First things first. New gunner positions. The rattling guns want to be slightly further forward, and they kinda, I think, want to be canted at a little bit of a different angle than the Jezzails. So we want to be firing more directly down this hill. And then we have... Storm Vermin with halberds, and Storm Vermin with swords and shields over here. Another group over there. Try to leave some space for the gunners to fire through. We do have flyers to worry about, so we have to be a little cautious about our positioning here. We got to make sure we have some units back in the area of the siege stuff in case the dragon decides to just fly over. So let's leave 1 unit of Eshin Triads back here for the just in case. But the rest of them in position to fight, because, you know, fighting might be necessary. Put you right there, and Shife himself can hang out a little closer as well. He wants to be able to maybe fling stuff at enemies as they come in. And I think we're going to have a lot of our units having to make a real sprint for safety. But, like, this position is too good for our starting army to give it up. And we kind of don't care what happens to these troops, right? Because they're just garrison guys. They'll come back immediately. We'll leave guard mode on for our ranged troops, so just in case that Phoenix flees sufficiently, we don't want these guys to actually reposition at all. You guys also get over here. You guys also get over here. Hey, everybody, get the hell over here. Again, very silly that I have to do this. You should not have to issue individual orders to each of the troops as they come on. You should be able to set like a reinforcements rally point or something. There should be a way to do this such that they come on to the table with orders. It's very silly that this works this way. All right. Well, with them kind of dicking around and looking at our reinforcements and not knowing what they're planning to do, we're getting a lot of time to fire at half of their army as it kind of advances and then thinks better of it and then backs up and then kind of advances. So that's good for us. I'm going to go ahead and drop our first menace charge right here. Probably this won't get a ton accomplished because they'll turn around and fight it, but this can at least slow down the enemies a little bit. Oh, we should probably make sure we tell the new hire and also the lord of the garrison to make sure they get over here. Yep, having some of them turn around and shoot at those dudes is definitely in our favor. Okay, so the Phoenix is approaching. We're going to make sure that we have our units turned and focused. The guys that we gave orders to kill this thing earlier lost track of it because it went outside of attack range. Let's make sure we are focused on it, and we can dial in some more specific targeting orders for our other units here. Actually, sorry, those guys aren't quite in range yet. You could, though. You could target them without actually moving. Rattling gunners still don't have a shot yet. They're doing fine. We could run Scheif out a little bit, even just to have him drop the tornado. How much running are we talking about here? Okay, it's considerable. This is what we'll do for the moment, because we should, do something. He does at the very least have stand your ground, or standard eye, which is handy. Alright, we'll try to keep an eye on those guys, but I think our primary concern right now is making sure Scheif gets in position to throw that tornado out on those archers to try to frenzy them. And actually, we're doing a lot of damage prior to our summoned unit getting annihilated there. This is going way better than I thought it would. Also, this way Scheif can start shooting some of his fling projectiles. Just move forward enough to get that done. Frenzy those archers and make them make some bad decisions. Also, the tornado does do a huge amount of damage. It is going to carve those guys up in a very serious way. Okay, let's retarget a little bit. The Rattling Guns are going to do the Rattling Gun thing. It would be really cool if these Sisters of Avalorn stopped existing. And then you are targeting there. Let's have you switch over to here, because we can get some of the shots that don't quite land where they're supposed to will at least hit enemies that matter this way. And you guys... I'm going to change this up. We're going to move you guys in this way. The Storm Vermin with the Halberds are going to back up. And we're going to have these units sort of spread out, because they're making their plan here pretty obvious. I don't think we have to guess very hard at what they intend to do. Do I want to... We did actually do enough damage to get them to break. So I'm wondering, do I want to do anything? How are you guys still over here? Isn't this exactly where they came in? I mean, I know they're catapult crews and everything. Whatever, they're just dead. Same deal here. These guys are just dead, probably. Is he low enough to have melee attackers? No. He is not low enough that we can have people target him with melee attacks. What we can do is have these Globadiers turn around and shoot at him. They'll do okay damage. But again, like, what happens to these troops is so immaterial that I'm not even really worried about this. Speaking of, probably it's reasonable for us to have the Rat Ogres try to come around in position where they can charge the horses after the horses charge our infantry. They're going to get cut up real bad doing that, but yeah, whatever. So I think we don't bother trying to save that catapult crew. I think they're doomed. This catapult crew could just start firing, I guess, because they're not going to get away either. They may as well do something before they die. And it looks like this dragon's landing. Yeah, let's have everybody with a pike or a halberd get in there and show him why that was a bad idea. Alright, he's already starting to have a little bit of a time here. And you can give me some... melee mode. Get in, do things. Okay, so Dragon Princes have a significant charge bonus. They are good against large units. That said, we can still attack them with our large units as long as we're smart. You just gotta have your have your large units be not the ones who receive the attack. I'm looking for the remains of the Phoenix. I don't see the Phoenix anywhere. I'm assuming we killed it, but I'd feel a lot more secure about that if I saw a body. I mean, we see a splat mark over here, but this is not Phoenix colored. That's that right there is something a Skaven did. That's a Skaven stain. Oh, here's a Phoenix. Here's a Phoenix falling out of the sky. Okay. Never mind. I feel confident now. So, let's have Triads and Death Runners try to get in on these guys. I'm going to try to box them in as best we can with a summon. It looks like they're turning around to move, so I'm going to try to lead them a tiny bit. And you guys, guard mode off. Never stop pursuing. I'm going to leave guard mode on the other melee troops because I don't necessarily want them running off into the wild blue just yet, but I don't really care what happens to these these other dudes. You know what? You could probably... No, I was right the first time. He should attack where the enemies are already engaged. And maybe I should have our assassin lord with his mighty sword go this way instead of what I have him doing now. Because he could be killed. So I'm a little leery of having him engage too much by himself, but he's so good at melee combat right now. I'm going to have these guys. No, these guys are doing an important thing. These guys are still doing an important thing. Those Sisters of Avalorn are not yet broken. My rattling guns are... Oh, it's probably fine for them to be tilted this way. They have useful things to shoot at. Sorry if I'm staying paused for a really long time here. I just have a lot of stuff to consider. Alright, turn and fire at those dudes, and... Okay, yeah, most of the units back here have orders. These Triads probably don't need to be over here. I'm going to sling them this way. Okay, that was a pretty decent lead. We came up right in the middle of them. That should allow us to break them down pretty quickly. The Warplock Jezzails really... Sorry, the War Lightning Cannons are who I meant to target. They should stay facing the healthy unit of Dragon Princes. This is actually working out pretty well. Okay, over here... We have not done a ton of damage to that dragon. It's less than I thought it was going to be. Alright, get over here. You guys help him. You also help him, you know, in your own particular way. Let's get a big melee defense bonus for himself. Okay, what's up with that other unit of Dragon Princes? It looks like we pushed them off the map. Good work, everybody. This front is looking pretty won. They do have a prince, and we do have to deal with their prince. Obviously, Scheif would be an ideal way of doing that. Looks like he's doing alright here. I'm going to turn off his guard mode. Yeah, let's just have him charge in. I think cleanup is pretty much done over here already. Guys, guard mode off as well. Pursue those archers. Do not let them escape. You stay in on the Swordmasters more than on the Horseman. Rattling Gunners definitely need to reposition and reface. Jezzails, yeah, it's also kind of true of. These guys are fine. Their firing arc is so wide. Alright, so we still have other problems. It looks like almost the entirety of the garrison force is broken and cowardly, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. Is this the dragon? You know what? We should probably have the Jezzails turn on the dragon. Now, the Warp Lightning Cannon's actually in kind of a bad position for this, but they should also do that. They should also do what they gotta do to get over there and shoot at him. And we should make sure that we have a plan for the dragon. Actually, these guys. These guys are my plan for the dragon. Okay, Warlock Engineer solo tanking some Dragon Breath. Not a big deal. You know, him taking off actually makes him way more shootable. While he was on the ground, he had some cover from the warp lightning cannon. In here. That's right. Get in there and melee that dragon. Those are your orders. If that seems crazy to you, well, there's a reason I don't usually ask you for for consent on your orders. Just do it. Okay, I think we're going to see a permanent army break here in a second. And I believe these guys will be immediately wiped out. I believe forces that are in siege mode do not get a retreat. So yeah, again, what you're seeing here is the auto-resolver dramatically overvaluing elven armies leads the elven armies to do things that are suicidal because they expect to win those battles. We're going to see a lot of this hubris. I mean, it's kind of cool, actually. I know that this isn't why they did it, but it's kind of cool as a mechanical implementation of elven hubris. I actually have not really thought about it that way, but I really like that. So it looks like our army is going to come out of this just fine with a bunch of bonus XP and everything. Their army is looking not as hot. Oh no, okay, they do get to retreat. Well, that's a shame. Obviously, we have feelings about that. Yeah, and then totally free kill. It's true, he has achieved victory over High Elves on multiple occasions. So let's grab... I mean, we want the Crackle Bombs, right? So we have to buy all three of these skills. Well, I guess Run Speed. Run Speed is next. Yeah, I do have Standard Die already. Okay. Run Speed. Spend more time stabbing. Less time running, more time stabbing. This sword is going to do some... It's going to do some good, wonderful, terrible things for us. And then, unfortunately, I need to put together a new wizard. We could wait for that other wizard to come back, I suppose, but that doesn't seem like a... That seems like the wrong play. So Couronne will be able to bring in the wizards next turn. We'll worry about it next turn. Okay. Now we have some things to do down here. So you can harass these guys.
I refuse.
It's a fair amount of damage he did there. That was alright. Who is in the best shape? Seeprich. Seeprich, you are leading the attack. Ooh, actually, hold on. Seeprich may not have the movement speed. Is there... It's hard to tell. Is there red in that arrow? Yes, there is a tiny little bit right there. Okay. Hadar's fast as hell. Is Hadar in position to do this? Ish. Not everybody is feeling quite as healthy. What about Vomit? I can't even select Vomit. Here we go. Vomic's army is in not great shape either, and actually he has the least movement of the whole lot of them. Alright, let's have it be Remamute. Remamute engages. And I mean, obviously we're just going to get an auto-resolve out of this because we're going to put so many stacks on them. We almost have a good auto-resolve with just the one damage stack. So then we get Seeprich in here as a reinforcement. And I will absolutely auto-resolve the final battle with Couronne as a show of disrespect. Okay, apparently didn't wait long enough. He's not in reinforcement range yet. He was doing a very Skaven sort of war dance there to intimidate our foes at the edge of the reinforcement range. Okay. That is the end of Couronne's owned settlements. They still have Luen's army out on the water, so we won't get the message that they were annihilated yet, but he's going to have to do something pretty miraculous in order for this faction not to be immediately wiped out. And then, now that we've got that, I mean, the Awakening's right there. I think it has to be, right? The right play has to be just go and get the Awakening. So you have still a lot of magic to learn. Let's grab, for the next thing... We don't really need a cheap spell that we could spam just to keep Toxic Rain up, because if we want to do that, we have Warp Stars. Warp Stars is absolutely the right move there. Probably just take Armor of Darkness. I don't necessarily think that Skitter Leap is very good. I might be wrong about that. It might make it so easy to reposition troops that actually it's fantastic. Okay, so Renmamute and Seebrick will both be real healthy next turn. Okay, I mean, we're all feeling strong. What's the best way to get to the Awakening? We have to run through the Blood Swamps this way. I mean, the Awakening is a port, so we could just get in the water. And actually, it looks like that's the right answer. Look at what a huge percentage of the distance we cover there. When you do something like this, when you're trying to plot a long route, the game will usually prefer to keep you in one movement mode the whole way. So, like, while it wants to show you the shortest route, because we're already on land and the target's on land, it's just going to show us the shortest land route rather than the shortest route in total. I think we probably all want to just spend a turn hanging out, though, right? I guess maybe the smart play is get everybody over by the Fuming Serpent, because that's the dock we're going to use. But I don't want to jump in the water just yet. I want to make sure everybody has access to the friendly settlement replenishment if they need it. Vomik. Yeah, Vomik's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so that's a whole lot of armies doing useful things right there. Stuncritch has orders already. Weak desperately needs to get back to friendly territory. Here's a start. And then I think Ikitclaw is just gonna fall back with him. Just stay nearby. Try to give him some defense if some defense is warranted. And once we have the Awakening, we can turn these guys toward the Galleon's graveyard, and we can push it from two sides if we absolutely have to. Alright, Vilefitch, you should also get over here. Look at that. Ikitclaw and Vilefitch stab together again. Sniksh is down here on Luan watch. I'm going to leave him right where he is for the moment. He may be useful in the near future. I'm going to have Erat come up here and start scouting the Awakening. So we need to know what is going on over here. Looks like right now it is undefended, aside from the very large garrison, which is definitely a problem we're going to have to solve. And then, like, do we need to know what's going on down here? Maybe. I'm just putting defenses up around this, that it's a pain for them to take down. Some AI will come and take it, and we will not. I'm not going to put in the effort to defend it, but I am going to make it take as much of their time as possible. So do we want to keep you down here? I guess so. If I'm planning on Chupayatl being lost, then we will eventually need somebody. We'll need a different source of vision in the area. You already assassinated the character out of that army. I guess just hang out nearby. And intel. Even though elves are very stealthy on the water sometimes, it's still a good idea to have something in the area watching if we can. Here at the Star Tower, we want food. Give me food and corruption. Always corruption. This is the turn when we can. Dominating scheme, so we absolutely do. Okay. 62,000 gold. Out of curiosity, did that... Yes, it totally did cancel all of the recruitment I had queued in. It didn't just pause it the way it's supposed to, it actually canceled it all. That's not the way that works, in case you were curious. Shoot. Well, I don't remember exactly what I was bringing in. So this was an anti-infantry army. So it probably would have been like this, and then a couple units of guns, and then a whole lot of other stuff. That might be it. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, when an army in a city gets sieged, it's supposed to pause all of your recruitment. It absolutely does not cancel it. That's just like, that's not the way the game works. So, very annoying that happened. This is the army I was planning to hand off This is the one where I was going to hire a wizard. So this other army should be at 20 units. What am I forgetting? There's probably just another unit of storm vermin with shields. Yeah, that makes sense, because then we have 5. That'll be fine. Okay, then I guess we have 56,000 gold to channel into buildings. So let's have a look and figure out where that makes sense to do. Do we actually get a benefit out of improving this? It does spread more corruption, but no. No, not really. And also, we don't even really want there to be more corruption. I'm not going to bother with that. We will upgrade this, though. We're talking about some very marginal upgrades now. Not getting a lot of value out of any of the stuff we're doing anymore. We've made the big moves already. Pox Cauldron, sure. This I do want upgraded. We may actually have to use this at some point to summon, or to reinforce. Probably we will not have to with these, but not a lot of reason not to do the upgrades anyway. Here, money making. Where do we still have... Okay, here we go. Here we still have just some open slots. Can't really do anything with them. This is now a completely maxed out province. No, this could be upgraded more. Nearly completely upgraded province. We're so close to being actually done with a couple of places. God, it's just a lot. It's a lot of garbage to administer. Alright, so pretty significant chance that Luan Leonkur is just going to hurl himself at our nearest settlement. That is a thing that the AI often does when they are out of chances. This could just play at the same animation speed we have set for everything else. That would be fine. And before anybody's like, you could just change the animation speed for your own units in the camera setting like you did for anybody else, I did. Alright? It's already up. That's just... Apparently that just doesn't respect it. Alright, so unfortunately we are going to have a small number of elven agents just permanently annoying us. We could kill them, they'll just send more. It's just like it was with the dwarves and with the Bretonnians. Soon, no longer to be the case. So is anything happening with Clan Pestilence at all? It looks like they probably don't even have a real army. They have most of an army. I bet the units in that army are not very good, though. Who knows? Hexawaddle might actually finish pushing them out of the game this time. And it looks like the elves are at least thinking about... Vashnar's elves are at least thinking about harassing the other elves, which is useful. Oh good, more breeders. That's exactly what we needed. Okay, so let's start the move toward the awakening here. Does anybody have the ability to get to it this turn? Yes. Adar can absolutely just get there right now. But I have to tell him manually how to do it, or else he'll decide to do it in a stupid way, for no reason, the way we saw at the Galleon's graveyard. There we go. We don't actually know if there are elven armies in the area, which makes this a little risky. We're going to start the construction of some rams and some towers, not because I necessarily need the rams and towers, but because having rams and towers does improve your auto-resolve. And since it's going to take everybody else a minute to get over there anyway, may as well. Oh, actually, it's looking like Remamute can now get up here in a single turn of movement, which I thought... maybe I didn't actually select him before. This ought to work. Maybe we can just take this turn. Is he on land? Yeah, he's on land. So if we were to attack right now... Okay, they're not even going to make me fight that manually. Yep, I'll take it. That's mine. Okay, that's a pretty big move, and it's faster than I thought we were going to get it done. May as well improve public order while you're here. So let's just go ahead and repair all of this nice recruitment stuff they left behind for us. Isn't that lovely? We are going to need a bell, but we're also going to need a better garrison. So is the special thing just the main settlement building? It doesn't actually look like it's significantly different. Did I miss? Was there a landmark? Nope, no landmark. The special building is absolutely just this. I mean, I don't know. That doesn't seem all that special. Well, whatever. And then the question... How quickly do we want to leave the volcanic islands behind? Do we actually care about these settlements at all? I think the answer might be no. We wanted Bretonia not to have them, certainly. But I don't think I care enough to leave an army behind to play defense. That said, they're certainly easier to defend than Chupiatl, which can be attacked from a lot of directions very simply. They are on beaches, but like they're a little bit, the terrain around them is a little bit awkward. The Star Tower is really only attackable from that beach. This walk is a lot of points of movement. But we're gonna need to gather up because we can see elven armies, and yeah, let's just move everybody. Just get everybody up here on land because I do not have any. No, get in the water. And now that you're in the water, route up onto the land here. You are going to do the same thing. I guess he's close enough to this that he can grab this in normal movement mode and then full sail up onto land. We're not going to try to defeat a foe in battle, because who knows what will happen. Before we even get into the battle, who knows what will happen. Okay. The Awakening is on the list. This is good. We're closer. We are now, I believe, 2 settlements off of a campaign victory. And then there's this thing, but that will get solved. As long as we're continuing to take new territory, this is going to remain unchecked. But we drive the Skaven corruption in territories up pretty quickly. Corona's not technically destroyed, but they are basically destroyed. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15... 16, 17. That's the plan. We can absolutely do that. Cheery Flesh, this is an assassin who is actually a map guy, but I guess he has no other blue stuff left to take. I mean, they have put a lot of troops into this area. It is not going to be trivial to take this stuff down. Alright, Queek needs to get to a friendly place where he's going to be able to do some recruitment. I don't know if that's actually here, right? Well, I guess we have some recruitment structures here. What does he need? So his gunners survived. He needs infantry. How long until we're clear on recruitment over here? We're close to clear next turn, actually. We only have a couple of recruitment slots that will be filled. So I think Queek is going all the way back to Skavenblight. Which, yeah, we can land on the shore next turn, start local recruitment, and then we'll have a Corm following up, or rather a Corm being replaced by somebody and following up in the pretty near future. So these two could push. Let's move them to the edge of... We should still be very safe from these guys, right? Yeah. Let's move them to the very edge of the non-attrition zone. We'll be ready to push forward at a moment's notice if these guys overreact to the threat from the southwest or something. Basically, if Galleon's Graveyard is left open for even a second, we're going to collapse on it in a very serious way. Alright, so Corone can now recruit Plague Sorcerers. Let's do that. Okay, Warpstone Hoarder, that's fine. Baby Bilefitch can come over here and join this army. Plague is very important. And that means that Scheif doesn't really want to go too far away. I guess, yeah, he's got a lot of replenishing to do. Why am I not getting a movement arrow? That's weird. Okay. It's fine for him to not move very far here. Because we want to make sure that the wizard can catch up with him. Alright, Staden needs to come back down here. Keep an eye on the coast near the Elflands. Rel is exactly where Rel needs to be. Obside should definitely get up into a place where he could stab a guy in case, you know, a guy needs to get stabbed. Seems to often be the case when you're dealing with elves. A lot of elves need to be stabbed. 58,000 gold. I'm a little surprised at how much money we still have. I mean, after we finish recruiting the forces that we're putting together now, we're probably doing some more recruiting, huh? May as well do some of this, and, I mean, let's get a proper garrison building going here. God, we still have so much stuff to upgrade. We own way too much land. Pestilent Knave. It's always pox cauldrons and pestilent knaves and stuff. Castle Baston, we don't actually want to upgrade. This apparently still has another level to go. Trying to make sure that we are putting our money to good use. To some use. Any use, really. Any use that will help. Okay, this place is pretty behind the times. Probably because things build so slow in the Magic Forest. Okay. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the High Elf strategy will be here as we push up to the Poxmarsh. Is it in the same province? Yep, and then the Blood Swamps are down here. I suppose we could have somebody go and claim the Blood Swamps so that we have this entire province. I don't know if it's worth doing. We do have to actually hold the Awakening, though, and if we're doing that anyway, we'll be leaving at least one army behind here. If we're doing that anyway, we may as well try to hold the whole province, right? I really thought that the Awakening, making landfall at the Awakening was going to be more of a problem. I figured that the AI would defend it in any way at all. So we can just put Stuncritch into ambush mode there and have him hang out for the rest of his life, I guess. That's pretty much his deal now. Ooh, they are reporting down here, so that's interesting. Also, they have two armies that are led by guys named Obarmon. Also, didn't we kill an army led by, I guess it must be the elven version of, like, Steve? You know, when you go into the elven pub and you're like, hey, Obarmon! 6 guys turn around. And then they're all disappointed because they all thought, oh, maybe I've made a new friend. But it turns out, nope, nobody likes a high elf. Not even other high elves. Okay, we might want to send one army back just to make sure nothing dumb happens with Luen down there. We are not doing minus loyalties right now. Okay. And since we have you hanging out at the moot, let's, what do we want to do here? Well, first of all, probably turn taxation on. It's weird how the moot is now a single settlement, yeah, it's weird that it's now a single settlement province, but it's a minor settlement. That's, I think, the only place in the whole game where there's a province that doesn't have a major settlement in it. Okay, so you just need to make it up onto the beach. Or sorry, you just need to make it up across the border a little bit. We can start doing some local recruitment. Yeah, 4 slots open. So, what does he need? His army's pretty set up for fighting infantry, it looks like, so I think I'd rather have these guys than the halberd version. Also, he recruits these dudes at level 9, which is cool. You really can stack up an awful lot of rank bonuses, it turns out. Alright, where's my wizard? You get over here. And then Shaif needs to get ready to intercept this Obarmun. Probably right outside Langui. My guess is he's going to try to land here if he's coming for us. He might be headed further north, because remember, the High Elves are still at war with the Norskins. But their armies have been landing on that beach. I don't know why. Let's, can you kill this dude? Can we maybe remove this guy? It'd be really cool if the elves did not have eyes on what we were doing over here. Alright, he's starting to get okay at his job. So next turn, Cyanlet will be all ready to go, and I believe next turn is when we get both of our lords back, right? Toxidin and Infectique. Yep, are both available next turn. Cool. Alright, let's deal with all this stuff. So Arat is back on man-fighting duty. Let's get him up here. We can have him land on the beach at the Pox Marsh this turn, it looks like. Alright, so next turn he can start harassing. Alithanar is running a very basic army. So spearmen, these are tier 1 spear melee units. The Lothern Sea Guard is basically that guy, but also has a bow. It's a little better of a unit because of the versatility, but like on the whole, this is a very weak army. We cannot see what Kilana is bringing. Do we have anywhere near the movement we would need? No, it's a huge distance to cover. Actually, look at this. We might be able to hit the Poxmarsh this turn if we took the boats. If we could pressure him out right now. So he has walls plus 33 units. You know what? I think we might be better off trying some Skaven trickery in the swamps out here. So first of all, like I said, somebody's got to report back and make sure that Couronne stays dead as a thing. So that can be Vomek's job. I think Vomek's a little bit less mission critical up here. So why don't you get in the water and then down to the Fuming Serpent.
By all that I hold dear, no.
Lewin's army is not exactly terrifying, but we are talking about a settlement here that unfortunately only has 8 units in its garrison for the next 3 turns. Yeah, if they attack it, they'll probably get it. Just gotta be in position to take it back afterward and crush the last Bretonnian army at the same time as the last Bretonnian settlement. And then here we wanna do some trickery, like I said. Let's see, who even has movement left? You have a lot of movement left, and your army's in great shape. Let's go. Remamute can go into ambush mode. You can go into ambush mode. In front, you are the most important ambusher. Hadar can go into ambush mode. And we'll leave the Awakening looking like it has a small garrison and no defenders, and we'll just see if we can bait them forward a little bit. Totally might work. They fall for stuff like that all the time.
Master Engineer.
I mean, do we want to press? So if we can get up onto the reef, then we can put our armies in replenishment mode for a turn or two and potentially get some health back. It's a little bit of a pain to tackle the Galleon's graveyard. We probably want to bring really overwhelming numbers. So maybe these two should just hang for a second while we're going to have more bodies for this in a minute. I think that's the play. We're going to not actually go forward. So Biofitch is fine where he is. Obside is headed up here to help Arad out. For some reason, this is the moment when we improve the Black Pyramid. We can build ourselves a Vault of Nagash, but I think we don't actually want to do this because we don't want to mess with the 10% magic resistance for all armies is cool, but we don't want to mess with the Skaven corruption balance in this area. We need it to be high. So, instead, what we do is just build money buildings. And at some point, we'll turn taxation on, you know, once we get things under control. You can do all of this stuff. So we do have a huge amount of corruption coming in through osmosis. I guess we could probably build that landmark. It would be okay. But we also don't really need to. It's not like we're in any danger of getting magicked out of battles or anything. But where do we want you to be actually sitting to maintain the best view? Because I would like to be able to see Lothern a little bit too. It's possible what we should do is just run one of those assassins from down here up to this area and post a couple of scouts. Might be that no one scout is going to see as much as we want him to see. Alright, so 2 turns until you're set. Queek will probably need 1 more turn of replenishment after this as well. So that's when we'll get our reinforcements over there. And again, if we manage to make it the case that, like, Alariel feels the need to sail to the southwest to try to defend stuff down there, then obviously we can run in as she leaves. We're in position to take advantage of elven misplays. Let's just hope they make a couple. Preferably a couple of real big ones would be nice. Okay, I think that's working. We should absolutely be able to kill Elithanar here very easily. And now that Kilana has moved her army so close to our scouts, we'll have a better idea of what we're facing in terms of reinforcements after Elithanar goes down. And it kind of seems like Hexawaddle maybe doesn't see... What are you doing? Why would you attack this settlement and not the other one? Okay, well, I mean, I'm not... It's fine. Just, like, why do it that way? He had a better way available to him. It was less effort to do it the better way. He was closer to the other settlement. He might actually have won that and, like, gotten a place and been able to get rid of the no home territory attrition. That's a baffling decision. Okay, let's kill Elithanar. Look at this idiot. Who do we want to send out on this task? I think I want the strongest army to stay out of it. Which is to say, Remamute? No, it's Seabridge. Because we want somebody to push toward the Poxmarsh. So you two can get out here. I guess, actually, Hadar should be reinforcements. Remamute should lead. He'll back off, and I think we should have enough movement to chase him here. Yeah. Alright, nice and easy. Skaven trickery works again. How on earth is that the auto-result? Fine. Fine, I don't want to fight this battle manually, but that's it's ridiculous that they'd be able to do that much damage. Okay. Even more followers and stuff. And then I think we want to just go back. So now we want you to be in a place where... What does your movement look like? And that's... We're seeing the dotted line at the outside of that, so the way this is drawn, what it's telling us is this is the edge of her movement range in normal mode and in march mode, because it's the colored area, but it's the entirety of the colored area, but the dotted line is at the outside of it. I'm not really... That notation doesn't really make sense. Whatever. We'll move slightly toward her. Go into ambush mode. I want to have the ability to move toward the Poxmarsh a considerable amount, but I also don't want to be in such a position that if she sees through our ambush, she could charge toward us and make us fight her. We will only fight her if it's advantageous to us. We want to have the option of backing off enough. And I may not want to attack her army because I don't want to discourage her from moving forward. Yeah, we'll just stay nearby for the moment as a scout. I'll do it from the water. Because I do think we want either him or Obside to move further north. It doesn't really matter which one. They're probably basically identical units at this point.
Need more trophies, yes, yes.
Okay, Queek. You need... I mean, I'd kind of like to get another Doomflayer or something, but I don't want to be sitting here for 2 turns. I think you just need more infantry. Let's grab 6 units. There is exactly enough recruitment capacity here for that. Let's do this.
Most masterful of
We should this turn bring in the mage. And for this army, I think we want a plague priest. Trying to think. This is going to be Infectique. Yeah, I think a plague priest makes sense. I don't know that it matters a huge amount, the difference between them. Like, they do different things, but mostly we just want somebody who can make use of Winds of Magic. Alright. We're gonna max out Plague. Grab 1 rank of Pestilent Mirth and also Arcane Conduit. Pretty good to have your casters start at level 12. And then I think we want to do the replacement here this turn. I don't remember if replacing the Lord locks their movement or not. It might be the case that Infectique is going to come in with 0 movement points. So we want to commit him this turn. We'll do the same deal up here. Cyanlet. Surprise! It's actually Toxidin! Okay, and he's ready to rock this turn. So Obarmon took a lot of damage fighting dudes out on the ocean. We do not quite have the movement range necessary to take advantage, unfortunately. But also that army is a total non-threat. It's no longer capable of getting even close to taking out any of our settlement garrisons, so we can probably just ignore them, honestly. Let's head toward the coast. And of course, we will have the ability to double back if we want to. Yeah, I don't really know what our move is here. It may well be the case that Toxidin and Shife just go to Ulthuan and start causing trouble to draw enemy armies to the northeast. Rel is exactly where he needs to be. Bilefitch is, for the moment, in the right spot. Down here in Sudenburg, we get some upgrades. Just barely have positive public order, even with 2 bells, which is kind of wild. And you can see we've got our the level of Skaven corruption pretty high, even in the places that we haven't really held for that long. Hadar, what were you doing? You were probably just picking up... Yeah, I was totally just picking up additional red line stuff. What do we need from here? Molder Knowledge is not going to be helpful. Infiltrator is not going to be helpful. Pack Leader is not going to be helpful. This is just... Well, this affects Death Runners and Eshin Triads, so I guess we should take this. That is meaningful for him. Also, he needs to do some recruitment. Sorry, next turn, when he is no longer in March mode. Cherry Flesh is going to go nowhere. He's about as far away from the Whirlwind as we can afford for him to be at the moment. And then... Okay, Baston is set. Black Mountains could take 1 monetary upgrade. There's a lot of, like, very, very small bonuses available to us here. Alright, very curious what the High Elves are going to do. It was really nice of them to just leave the Awakening packed with recruitment structures for us. I'm hoping Kilana will not see through Seebrich's, Oh, hey, that's a High Elf army that is much deeper in our friendly territory than I realized. We are now showing as more powerful than they are. They've been suffering a lot of losses here. That's a very, very good sign for us. If we can get Kilana's army to come out of that settlement so that we can engage her in the field, we will be able to take the Poxmarsh pretty soon. We should have Vomik go and claim the swamp, and then we'll leave Vomik. Maybe we'll leave 2 armies behind there. We should have enough, because we're going to be able to recruit another new army, I think, pretty safely under our cash cap. So we should be able to put a lot of pressure on them while leaving 2 armies to play defense in that southern area. Okay. So, Vomik, go forth and claim me a blood swamp.
Victim dies.
Okay. Vomik's super creepy. What a creepy dude. I guess it's sort of his job, but it's still a little much. He goes a little bit hard, is all I'm saying. Definitely defensive structure. Okay. That should be up and running pretty shortly. Are we okay? We are okay public order-wise. We've got things settled well enough here. Star Tower will have a real garrison next turn, so we probably don't have to think about that anymore. That's probably settled. You are going to learn to assault garrisons, I guess? I don't know why this is the thing I put skill points in, but that's the only thing you could possibly finish. It looks like we're going to have to just actually push the Poxmarsh with, like, a real force. She's not going to make this easy for us the way we would like.
Legs, tails, move.
Well, we'll do that with a reasonably sized army here.
Order, listen. Stalk.
We don't quite want to cross the line because we want Remamute's forces to heal up. And then Hadar needs to sit right here and get... What does this army need? It has lots of guns. It has... I mean, it's pretty much just infantry here as everywhere. We're just short dudes. Okay, let's kick out the Skaven Slave Spears. Don't need that. And we actually have the ability to recruit fancier stuff here if we want. We don't have a War Machine Workshop, but like we could take on an extra gunner unit. And Hadar's going to be hanging out for a bit. Do like this, and then from the global pool... Oh, actually, you know what? Let's not bring in those guys. From the global pool, we'll bring in some triads. Hard to know what we'll be up against. We'll go this way. Okay, so 2 turns until that army is looking pretty strong. And honestly, there's pretty good odds that Hadar lives at the Awakening now. That might be a permanent posting. Okay, so you guys are all set.
More head skulls.
Week's army is ready to get out here and make some noise. So let's do it. Fektik's army is similar. And we could try to throw the elves off a little bit by pushing like the southern part of Ulthuan and the Galleon's Graveyard at the same time, so as to cut off any reinforcing armies they might be bringing in. Or we could just slam 8 armies into the Galleon's Graveyard. I'm actually not sure which one of those things is a better idea. And we are already going to be distracting them with this move a little bit. And we do want to be cautious about how we do this. Vashnar is going to take Misnar for us. They haven't had a wall there in a while. Do we want to... I guess Tor Ivres, or Tor Koruali is pretty easy for us to take. I'm thinking if we took stuff on the northern side of the island, it's more inconvenient for their armies to... Well, I guess they have the Phoenix Gate. There is no gate in the eastern mountains, so this stuff actually is probably the easiest, or the hardest for them to reinforce. Okay, well that's what we'll attack then. Let's not go alone. I know you have a terrifying magic sword and everything, but let's make sure that we're staying with our buddy. In the Skaven army, we use the buddy system. It's not just a good idea, it's rat law. Let's put you in normal movement mode. Okay.
Silence.
Staden should definitely come with them.
I order. Scary, move.
We might end up seeing some trouble from the Elven army at Ice Drake Fjord, but also, we don't actually know what happened to them. We don't have a real vision. Probably we should get some defensive structures up here. That seems like a wise move. In fact, let's get a bunch of buildings done here, because apparently we didn't do any building in this area. Listen, it's just very far down the list, you know? We have a big list of people who need to have money distributed to them, and you are not high on the list. Does Lorelorn? No, Lorelorn does not have a good garrison. It just also can't have a real garrison building. Things are always going to be crummy here. Should we have a recruitment area up in the north, maybe? I guess we have that. That's something. Yeah, Middenheim might be a good place for that. Just that if something did happen to the Norskins, or Chaos Forfend, they decided to turn on us entirely because they have no sense of self-preservation, which is a thing that we know is true about Norskins. We could be ready to punish them for their foolishness. Okay, you two are gonna stay put for another turn. Upside is actually gonna just hang out right there, I think, for the moment. And again, we're not harassing them. We're not lowering their health or anything, because we actually do not want them to feel unsafe moving forward. I want them to feel like they can charge. Alright, I think this will be where we end it here. Let's do one more sequence of enemy turns. But I'm feeling like we're in a pretty good position. We have reclaimed the forward pushing momentum that we lost with the embarrassing military failure. Really, an embarrassing intelligence failure at Galleon's Graveyard. We're about to be able to press it from two sides simultaneously while already in control of the Awakening. I don't know what the hell Alistar is doing. But I think that might be what we do. I forgot we were going to start recruiting a new army. Well, we'll do that at Coron next turn, and then we'll send that army in the direction of Alistar. We'll try to reinforce our allies. Oh boy, yeah, Hexawaddle does look like they intend to actually finish this. Although they're not, for some reason, quite getting it done. In fact, it looks like we might be in position here. Somehow, Hexawaddle's armies got all spread out. It is a little bit... it is a little bit both heartening and dismaying to see Clan Pestilens using the same strategies we're using. Because on the one hand, hooray, Skaven tactics. On the other hand, oh god, am I as bad at this game as the AI is? And for some reason, Vashnar's just gonna let those guys siege his... Is he sure? Alright. So apparently, Kilana is never going to come out. We're going to have to go in there and get her. That is a thing we absolutely can do. We are not going to play much of this turn, but let's look at putting together one more army, which it looks like we might want to do. We can bring in a level 25 Lord. We could bring... I guess I was going to say we could bring back one of these existing lords, but there's absolutely no reason to do that, right? So we bring in a new level 25 lord. Doing so will cost us almost all of our income. Maybe we don't worry about it. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it, because the army by itself would be 23k, which means we would not have enough left to put into troop pay to actually put together a high-tier stack. Yeah, so it's probably not worth it. Alright, well, in that case, I think we are done here for today and for this week. It has been rife with problems, but when you come back next time, on Monday, they'll be solved, maybe. It's not entirely impossible. There's some chance they'll be solved, and then everything will go very smoothly as we murder all these elves. No more setbacks of any kind. And we'll see you then.